All right, thank you for joining us. We're live from Conrads here in Liberty, Missouri for the Cardinal Happy Hour. Today I'm joined by head powerlifting coach, Coach Devin Hance. So, Coach, powerlifting is relatively new to William Jewell. High schools have different rules across different states, but for our competitions, how do they work?
Yeah, so in the college setting, you're going to have 3 attempts of 3 lifts. So everybody's always going to start off the same one. So you're going to start off with your squat. Everybody gets 3 attempts on the squats. Once they then finish their squats, they'll then move on to the bench press. After the bench press, during the bench press, they'll actually attempt the lift 3 times as well. And then they'll go on to their deadlifts. Same format. They'll go through the deadlifts, attempt 3 times. And towards the end, they'll take their total, their best attempts that were successful, and they'll have a total off of their best squat, bench, and deadlift.
So, in 3 years, year one, you had 5 athletes. This year, you've got 25 plus. What do you attribute to that growth of that roster and just of the popularity of the sport?
You know, a lot just goes to William Jewell Cardinals family as a whole. Buying into the program, buying into the athletes, giving the athletes a great experience, because when we bring, PSAs on campus, they see a straight reflection of how the athletes actually love being here. The family atmosphere, because you're getting kids from Texas, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota. They want to make sure they feel at home. And I think that's one thing we've done a great job here is having the kids actually feel like this is a home away from home.
So you talked a little bit about PSAs, mentioned some states, but what states have the best high school powerlifting?
So with the best, I would say Texas. You get into Texas, there's a lot of strong kids out there. They are in the equipped side of things. So typically when they come to college, they want to go into that raw side, just because competition is actually higher on the raw side of collegiate. You get down to Louisiana. Louisiana actually runs it really well down there, very organized. They actually have a governing body with the state sport. So those are the 2 top states really that are kind of running the tables right now.
New program, a lot of new firsts. Last year was our first national qualifiers. We had 3 of them. This year we've had 1 competition, and you already have 5. So what does this mean for this program, and who is standing out?
It means a lot. You see kids, especially at a young age, to compete at the highest level. You're talking collegiate nationals, and as freshmen and sophomores, it's astonishing to see them get there. What it means to the program is just the kids buying in, right? They're buying into not only the workouts, the system, they're buying into, attending classes, keeping the grades high, and then doing the work not just for themselves but other people, right? You don't want to see just 1 or 2 people go. You want to have an actual team experience go when they're going to nationals, so supporting each other as they go onto the platform, even though it's 1 person out there, you want the team to support them so they can get those attempts and get the highest total that they can actually get.
So who on the team is who's exciting to watch? Who's moving the most weight?
It really just depends on the weight class. We got a 44 kilogram female who's, at that weight class, she's moving some pretty good weight. That's a pretty small person, right? But it's not, big is not strong, strong is strong, right? And then you get to some of the other weight classes. We got some females that, are squatting a lot. I got some males that have really good deadlifts. And so it's all kind of hit or miss based on what their lifts are and what they're kind of specialized in. A lot just goes into, their body structure. Do they have the right, what I would say, arm length for the deadlifts, right? If you have long arms, it's great for deadlifts, but not so much for bench press because you got to go a lot farther. And so I got a kid a sophomore, who can deadlift close to 600 pounds, which is really impressive for a sophomore. And I got some females that, I got one who, in high school, she was squatting 400 pounds as a high school female athlete. And that's extremely impressive. And getting her to get here and push to 450 and maybe one day be a 500 squatter in her time here at Jewell would be just, almost mind-blowing at that stage.
Last year, Michaela Ratzlaff, Sonia Zamora qualified for the national tournament. They went to this national tournament. What did they learn while they were there?
It's a lot bigger stage. So when you're looking at the meets that you can compete at just in the regular season, they're definitely toned down. It's not as hyped up in Hollywood style as I would per se what it actually seems like. And they just learned how to, one, calm their nerves. They're extremely nervous. One is a smaller team that we took last year. So when you get more people going, we got 5 already now. That's just going to help calm them down because you got a better supporting staff around you. And then understanding what it takes. Now they've been on the big stage. What does it take to make that total bigger? Because you don't want to just get there and and just experience. You want to get there and actually compete at the highest level. And so now they see, firsthand what that work ethic is, what the other people, the top people in the country are actually lifting. And that's just definitely motivating them this year to keep pushing a little bit harder.
So on top of coaching powerlifting, you also work with some other sports. What teams do you currently work with, and how do you juggle that workload?
Yeah, so right now I currently work with the swim team and the wrestling team, both men's and women's of both those sports. It's a handful, but it's not something that I can't handle. It's just time management, programming. You got to make sure you're doing what's right for that sport as well, because you can't just put half your eggs in one basket, half in the other basket. Researching on what does swim need to be a better swimmer. One thing I learned not being a swimmer was that they can't be too fast, because if they're too fast, they actually cut through the water. And so you're trying to balance that speed and strength aspect with those sports. And then looking at, the big thing is injury prevention. We're trying to make sure those athletes are staying healthy, trying to minimize those risks of injuries, and just doing your homework and understanding what those high-risk injuries are and how to attack those areas. And it's just, I work really hard. I love what I do. And so show up and give everything I got to those athletes, and they definitely see it. And it's good on my side that how they reflect on that passion that I bring back into what they're doing in the weight room too.
That's Coach Devin Hance, and this is Cardinals at Conrads, live in Liberty, Missouri. Don't forget to eat, drink local. Thanks.